right, welcome everybody. So this is as close as y'all are gonna get, huh? Man, I tell you, Travis does not spit when he talks like I do. You guys can sit in the front seats. Come on, I'm full. He's only half Portuguese. Nope. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to our 1776 Sons of Liberty. This is our regular meeting. We meet every Monday here at the Elks. We are going to open up in prayer. Then we're going to have our flag salute. Just bring your attention to, thank you, our city, really, most of our city officials are here. Thank you for coming. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you guys. And we have a lot of citizens here that are have questions that want to be answered. So I thank all of you for being here. A great collaboration between the 1776ers and the Hanford City. I love you guys, and I think it's going to be a good evening. If you'd all please stand and tip your hats. Father, we thank you for who you are. We ask you that you bless this evening, that you bless our words, that you direct our thoughts and our patterns, that we can truly act in a way that glorifies you, that we can bring truth, that we can bring facts, and Father, most of all, that we bring resolve. We ask you right now that you just stir our hearts to reflect who you are within us. And we ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. If you would please face the flag and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. As I said, we are the 1776 Sons of Liberty. This is our motto. This is what we stand for. And I'd like to read that through for you just so everybody knows. We are the Sons of Liberty. We are lovers of God and country, family, community, and faith. We are warriors of liberty and seekers of truth. We are servants of this great nation and the supreme law of the land. The Constitution is our guide as we fight to restore freedom for every American woman, child, and man. Welcome again, everybody. Without any further ado, I think we're going to turn this over to our mayor, Travis Paden. I want to remind everybody, we are here to hear your voices, but I want you all to remember that we are here to let everybody speak. If they want to speak, they speak. So if you have a question, and it will be open to questions. If you have a question, phrase it as a question. If you have a statement, then make your statement, but keep it short. There's a lot of people that may have statements that want to talk. We want to make sure that everybody gets their voice heard and that Mr. Paden is respected in all of the questions and answers. Remember, there's a lot of city council people here, so please direct your questions to Mr. Paden. You are not directing it to the city or the city council. This is Travis Paden giving us information on the Lacey project. I know that a lot of you are here and may have other questions. And at the 1776, we love questions. Today, I really would ask you, direct your questions to the Lacey project. If you can, direct them to the Lacey project. We want to stay focused on what we are here to do, to gain information, to let the city understand what your position may be on the project, and let Mr. Paden, Mayor Paden, then reflect on what his position is. All right, and no further ado, this is Travis Paden.
Thank you, thank you.
When we get to questions, if you would please hold on, I'm going to have a microphone and I will run a mic to you so that way your question can be heard. I already broke it, man, sorry.
I'm just going to have to say, my opinion really doesn't matter right now in a sense because it's here listening. And this is what I want to do is just to be here and listening. First of all, I want to thank 1776 for offering this outlet for members of the community to come and learn more about the East Lacey Improvement Project or the Corridor Project, but also the businesses that are here. First of all, I believe I spoke to each and every one of you that are here. I appreciate our time and our conversation. I know it's probably been a long day at work today as well, and so I want to respect that time. This will be at a hard stop at 8:30. That will conclude, and if you have questions afterwards and you still have questions and you would like to talk to me personally, I'll stick around and make sure that I'll do my best. I just want to also introduce my colleagues that are here. Every member of the city council is here. Adam did mention directing the questions to me because there's a thing called the Brown Act, and we don't want to violate the Brown Act in any way. And so first, our Councilwoman Kimber Regan is here. Councilman Mark Kairis is here. Councilman Lou Martinez is in the back. Our Vice Mayor Nancy Howes is here. And then also we have our interim city manager, Chris Tavares, is here. And so I just like to welcome them, but also I just want to caution, I don't want to put them, if a question is directed to them, I don't want to put them in the position of violating the Brown Act, because the violation of the Brown Act is they're here as citizens, not as council members, and they're here just for information and just learning about, listening to the businesses that are here. So if you are a business, I went ahead and had a clipboard back there with some information. Now, as a teacher, I'm doing my homework. And on September 10th, I will be meeting with city staff and the engineers to discuss the project. And I want your information. I want your thoughts. I want your opinions. I want what you want me to advocate for you at the table when I go and speak with them. So that's where I'm at, and if you have not received a clipboard, please go to the back table. Jim is back there, or right where Larry's at. Raise your hand, he'll bring a clipboard to you. You could go ahead and keep the pen. We have plenty of pens back there. My business cards are back there. And just make sure that I get the papers when you're done, just as there's a front and a back as well. So make sure that you fill out both sides. Also, if you would like a copy of this, please in the top left-hand corner, put the word copy. I will go ahead and scan these and email them to you, so you have it for your records as well. So we have a, you know what you said, and I know what you said, and we all are on the same page. So before I go ahead and get started, I want to go back through history a little bit about this project. And so on August 13th, 2024, we had a press conference, and that press conference was with Congressman Blvd awarding us the $7.3 million for the refurbishment or the improvement of East Lacey. So that happened a little over a year ago. At that time, we found out that it was a little bit more than $7.3 million, and so we needed to make sure that we had the necessary funds to do it correctly. And so we took this time to, secure the funding sources and where we're going to pull the funding sources. And so now on August, I'll give you a timeline. On August 5th is when we had our first city council meeting. It might be a little, but I'll read it to you just in case. We had a study session on August 5th. That's just where staff came to us and said, hey, we're ready to move on this project. Here are our thoughts. And they shared their thoughts. That's what they did. They shared their thoughts. We had questions. They answered questions. We had more questions. We had concerns. We were starting to think about what was going on. And so at that meeting, the direction that was given by council at that time is we need to talk to the businesses more and get more business outreach. We are at 0% design on this project. No contracts have been signed, nothing has been set in stone. We're at 0%. So for us now, September 8th, today, we're here for a community meeting. I want to hear from the businesses. Next, on Wednesday, that's my one-on-one. And so whatever you give me tonight, I am going to give to our city staff, our engineers, and let them see, and we're going to have those conversations. So it's important that you fill it out, really express what your concerns are, what you want to see for your business, because ultimately, our goal is to enhance your business. That's our goal. Our goal is to enhance your business, and I believe the community, the city council, our city staff, we don't have the bandwidth over the next 2.5 years to be argumentative and frustration. We want to work with you. We want to go side by side with you. This right here did not happen for the roundabout. This right here did not happen for North Star, but it's happening now. And I don't want to come before you and say, here's what we designed and try to sell you on it. We are at zero design right now. And so next we have in October, the city, our city staff, the city manager, will be hosting 2 more open houses for the businesses, for the engineers, and for the businesses to ask questions of the engineers and the city staff. One will be at the city hall office, okay, right next to Superior Dairy in the training room. And 2, the second one, would like to have it at somebody's business. So on East Lacey. So if you would please reach out to me or Mr. Tavares, if you're interested, we'll bring the chairs. If you don't feel like, well, I can't host, but if you have a space that can house this many people to get all the businesses, please let us know that you're interested, and we will make sure and arrange that. That is going to be in October. We'll have 2 more open houses. So as I said, this is the first thing that we're doing. Next, on November 18th at the city council meeting. At the city council meeting, after receiving all the input from the businesses, all from city staff, the engineers, the council, the homeowners in this area, we're going to be presented with what direction should we go in. And so please reach out to your city council members, talk to them, email them, share those, get to know them. They're all here businesses, and so get to know each and every one of them. And so you could have that relationship and that conversation with them. After that November 18th meeting, because we have this money, the $7.3 million, we have a certain deadline. So after that November 18th, it's about 12 to 18 months that we have to have it committed. Not the project completed, but we should have the architects, we should have the designs and ready to bid on the contract and have a signed bid. So we have 12 to 18 months before anything is like, okay, pull the trigger, we're ready to go on the project. Just to let you know, this is our zoning for the East Lacey. It's the purple right there. You see right away, you see the railroad tracks that go through it. You guys are very familiar with it. In the East Lacey, it's zoned to corridor mixed use, which are allowed, restaurants are allowed, retail shops, offices, residential units, auto shops, car lots, gas stations, hotels. All of that is allowed in the corridor mixed use. Every single one of you fall under one of those categories, okay? So that's going to be happening during wherever you see purple. That's where you see the little salmon color, that's the Costco shopping center. So from the Costco shopping center all the way to 10th Avenue, that is what this East Lacey project is going to be about, okay? And so when we look at this project, at that, I'm going to go over and what was reviewed during the study session. Because in talking to some of the business owners, they did not see the study session that happened on August 5th, and I'm going to show you how to get there, but I also directed them how you could see that study session and how we're moving forward. Here is 2 designs. One is called a standard arterial design that we were given. This was to prioritize vehicle movement. 4 lanes may increase the speed if we decided to go 4 lanes instead of 2 lanes. We would have limited bike and pedestrian space. It would have a less emphasis on placemaking a business, more so than just doing what we currently do. It may contribute to future congestion with more traffic going to and from 10th Avenue to Costco and back. And it has a modest commercial appeal. That's what we were presented as the standard arterial design. So here is a look of what it was kind of given to us. This is a cross section. So if I looked and I did a cut, and this is a cross section of the ground. Over on the side would be sidewalks. You would see a drop curve. It would be the 2 lanes, a raised median or no median at all, 2 more lanes, and then the curb on the other side. So the characteristics of this is we have an 80-foot right-of-way. It is the goal of the city to stay within that 80-foot right-of-way and not to go any bigger than that, which would encroach on any properties that you have. 2 lanes in either direction, whether it's a raised median or no median at all. We'll want to do new storm drains, utilities, water, sewer. We're looking at we're having a conversation about possible sidewalks, the trees, street lights, electrical, all being placed underground instead of the big electrical poles. And last but not least, parking. And how does that affect your business? And on that survey that you had, you talked to me about, or you're telling me where do they park for your business? Are they in front? Are they on the road? How many parking stalls do you have? Something that we need to know, so the engineers need to know as well. So this is a vehicle-centric. The next one was called a complete streets approach. And I'll be honest with you, before the study session, I had no idea I never heard the term complete streets before. All right, and so that supports all mode of travel, whether it's walking, biking, and busing, like the cart bus. We do have the cart bus by the 9 1/4, and I think by the railroad tracks. There is a bus stop right there already, just a little bit over the tracks, right before you get to 9 1/4. So there, that would be the complete streets. There'd be narrow lanes for traffic calming purposes, safe dedicated bike and pedestrian access, inviting people-friendly design, more options to reduce vehicle loads, and encourages economic activity. If you look at that study session, council was asking a lot of questions at that time. One of the concerns, and I'll just speak for myself, was how is this going to affect the business? Because our goal is to enhance the businesses with this. How is it if you have a truck that you have cars being unloaded off to, and we have a bike lane or we have a protected pretty picture of some sort that they presented, and then we see how is the truck going to go over that bike lane and all of that stuff? We had all those questions, and we were asking those questions. And it may not fit, and so our direction that we gave to staff was we need to have more community outreach for the businesses. Hence, that's why we're here, and that's why we have 2 more meetings in October. That's why we have the survey to get that information for you. The characteristics of the complete street designs also to stay within that 80-foot right-of-way. 1 lane in either direction, no median or raised median. How would that design look? Storm drains, utility, water, sewer, sidewalks, bike lanes and parking, trees, street lights, and underground. So there's a lot of similarities, but also the design is very important. So I started going around town and started looking at, I was going by Greenfield by the baseball complex. They have bike lanes. It's just 2 stripes on the street. It's not blocked off. There is parking on both sides. There's 1 lane, and then there's a center lane for people to have that protected left to turn off. Is that something that we want? Or going down 12th Avenue. If you go from North Grainsville to Fargo on 12th Avenue, they have a median all the way down. They have 2 lanes going in either direction. You can't park on the side of that street which says no parking. I believe there are places where you could bike. There's big sidewalks for you. But what does that look like? Right now, since we're at 0 design, we could do a hybrid model of kind of pick and choose what we would like to see in there. But ultimately, the engineers have to follow the California MUTCD standards, and when they do it, they're going to hear our direction, and then they're going to do everything in their power to do it according to what the council decides after listening to everybody and gathering all the information. Okay? Next, here's the price tag. Price tag is about $18.2 million for this project. Now, there's a lot of funding. You see the 7.3 at the federal earmark that we got from, and we are so thankful to get it from Congressman Valadeo. That helps out a tremendous amount. But with this project, we could go out and apply for grants, matching funds that will take away off of the ultimate price tag for us that it's costing us, that these federal grants can help us out in one way or another. So if I would like to be under budget, that's always nice. I'd like to save money. I would like to, but if it's between 15 and 18 million, we will see how we do it. But this is kind of like what our finance director at the time, now interim city manager, has penciled out and make sure where they're coming from, the storm drains, how we're paying for that, the wastewater, the transportation impact fees, our gas tax, how we're able to get about $4.5 million from the gas tax. So with that being said, reach out to us. Please go to hanford.city. That is our website. All of the city council members, if you go in there and you type in city council in the search bar, it will go to this page. You can even click the blue links and you can email us directly. So please reach out to us. That is very important so everybody can hear your point of view. So as we move forward, stay connected as well. Please verify before you post. Before you post, I'm not telling you not to have your freedom of speech and express your point of view. That's good, but please express it. Look at our social media. Be locked in on our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our YouTube channel, on Twitter, so you could see what the city is out there saying and giving the information that they're giving. Also, I went ahead and I took a little screenshot. This is our website up here. These two buttons, one has all the agendas and minutes of every single meeting that we have had, okay? And next to it is join meeting. If you click on that, you can see the archive of all the live streams of every meeting that we have. Second of all, you could go over to and click City Council, Planning Commission, however, parking and traffic, where it goes through, and you can type a search in East Lacey Corridor Project. It will pull up every agenda that talked about the East Lacey Corridor Project. So you have all the information that the city is putting out, so you know exactly what the city is putting out. And so I don't want our community to hear something and it wasn't necessarily true and it gets retracted or whatever. As I said, the bandwidth, we need to do this and do this right. So please verify before you post and make sure the information is out there and you got the correct information so it's good for everybody. Last but not least, here's the facts and vision. The East Lacey Corridor Project will be built according to the California MUTCD standards, the transportation design and standards that the state of California has put forth. There will be 2 additional open houses in October for the community to hear updates and have a say. There will be opportunities for you to ask questions at those meetings as well. Each council member will have an option to meet one-on-one with city staff and engineers. City staff will meet with each business. It confirmed with our interim city manager, Mr. Tavares, that our city staff will set up a time to meet with you, with your business, to talk about your frontage. That's one reason why you don't have to, you can do stick figures on the back with your frontage. I'm not an art teacher and my art is not that great either. So just please kind of give us your entrances, your exits, how wide and what you need. I want you to check out the city's website for the archives of our study sessions, our city council meetings, agendas, and our live streams. That's so super important. We're here to walk beside you in this process, and it's our job to relay the concerns to city staff. When you reach out to us, it's our job to convey those thoughts to our city staff, all the needs and the desired outcomes for this project. The engineers will design this project and bring back to the council for public updates. That is going to be on the November 18th meeting. And follow the city council members on social media. I know Ms. Howes is an Instagram, majority on Instagram. I'm majority Facebook. A couple others are majority Facebook. So YouTube, all of that stuff. So if whatever platform that you have, please reach out and follow the city council members as well so you can be updated on what's going on. And they post regularly to make sure that people know about what's going on in the city. And we just ask you to be a part of the conversation. Last but not least, if you haven't filled this out, or if you haven't started filling this out, they're in the back with Jim. And at this time, I'll be more than happy. How did I do on time?
All right, great. Well, thank you. Thank you. And that was very informative. I appreciate that.
Sure.
A lot of information. I'm going to start the questions out, and there's only one reason I'm starting out with Leonard Diaz. One, we went to Kit Carson together, and that he told me if I didn't, that he could hurt me later.
Okay, and I just want to say really quickly, this is for the businesses and the homeowners, and we're going to give the questions priority to the businesses and the homeowners. All right? All right. Leonard.
Well, first of all, thank you, Charles, for coming. I'm glad that we're finally being informed on things. My concern and my question is, you said when did this all start to get the money?
The process, I was in the meeting with Mario Cifuentes, the city manager at the time. It was about 1.5 or 2 years. At first, we had to, before we got awarded, it was probably 1.5 years before that, because there's a process that Congressman Valadeo, every year his team says, hey, what projects do you have? Let me see if I can get, some funding for some projects. And so we were like, okay, we need to expand, and redo East. We'd like to improve East Lacey, because of, have it more walkable, have its dire needs. It needs some TLC. So
Okay.
it was about 1.5 years before we found out that we were awarded the $7.3 million. But it's that whole process that the federal government has and that goes along for every city at that time, that every city, every year, they kind of give them their wish list and then go
Right.
from there.
What was the process that you guys as the city had to do before you took it to David Valadeo to get the money? Because I called David Valdeo's office. They said before that they could even look at the project and offer it, you had to have a shovel-ready project
Okay.
and letters of support to go with it. I'm curious, where'd these letters of support come from? Because it wasn't us businesses.
And I wasn't a part of the, I don't
I
remember
understand, but
the, I
that's
don't
still-
remember the
you're my
letters
guy.
of support. No, I understand that, and I'm gonna direct it to our city manager
Please.
to look into that for you, but I don't know who the letters of support were from at that
I
time.
would think that they would have come to Lacey and say, hey, what do you guys, this is what we're gonna do. This is why why we're all here, because
Sure,
we
you would
feel
think.
like we're being blindsided.
You would think.
Yeah, and I know this started, last agenda, I went on your website,
Mm-hmm.
September 20th, 2022.
Okay?
That's where I had this. I had the letter from Mario showing that, asking for the money.
Oh,
from David Valadeo.
2022.
22,
Okay.
September of 2022.
That was before I was on council.
I understand.
Okay.
But if you're going to do this project, you also have to have the backup on that, correct?
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
What I'm thinking is why we didn't find this out until 2024, August of last year, that this was even happening on East Lacey. No notifications to us. All we saw was people putting up things and doing stuff, and we're thinking, what's going on?
I can
So
only.
why is that so hard to let us know something?
That's a very fair question. What I don't know is, should we bring a project forward to the community if we don't know if we have the funding for that project?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because you need to let
Okay.
us know, and we can give you maybe even better ideas.
Perfect.
East Lacey doesn't need a bicycle lane. We have a homeless problem over there.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make it look pretty great. It could be curb and gutter and sidewalk all the way down the street. That would be wonderful. And lights. Put lights up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need trees in front of my business.
Okay.
Because that blocks my traffic, blocks my view of my cars.
And please have Steve put that on the form for the business.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
and that's
Because you
just
don't
what-
want birds on the trees and the birds
Yeah.
leave presents for the cars.
Well, it's just, this is why we're here, because we just feel like we never get to know this stuff until something shows up, and then we get riled up.
We're at 0% design,
Well, that's
and so
what
I'm
you tell me,
glad.
but I've seen designs here that we saw there that day.
Those were not the actual designs. Those were just to tell the difference between a vehicular design and the difference between a complete street design.
So
That's-
it wasn't a shovel-ready project that was presented to David Valdeo's office, correct?
Well, the definition, I'm not sure what David's definition of shovel-ready project, like
Well,
we're
his
ready.
staff,
It's, so I can't answer that
Okay, I'm
question.
just saying, that's what they told me. They didn't pay for any design
Mm-hmm.
or anything. It just had to be something that was ready to go with letters of support. That's why I'm just asking, who did the letters of support? What's going on?
Okay, we'll do our best to find that information
Thank
for
you.
you.
I want to stress that Leonard was much older than I. I was in kindergarten when he was in 8th grade. I just wanted to let you guys know. Okay, next question, please.
Hi, my name is Bailey. I'm here with my dad, Dee. We represent Valley Fight Club, a staple of Lacey Boulevard since 2005. I actually want to answer one of your questions. I spoke to Captain Damage Control, the community relations guy, Brian. He's very friendly, nice guy, at the council thing at the coffee shop. And he told me 2020 is when this whole process started. So just to answer your question, about 1,825 days, if I'm not mistaken, to the day, of today, of which we're somehow at 0% design. I've consulted a few GIS experts, and in order to get those beautiful concept art pieces, 9 times out of 10, there has to be an engineering study done for the traffic, the flow of traffic, to get those designs, which is in contrast to what I was told. I've actually been told 2 different things, and I'd like to seek clarity on those things.
Okay.
Brian, I spoke with him at the coffee shop, and he indicated when I asked him, hey, how did you guys know that this wasn't going to affect anyone negatively? Did you guys conduct the studies yet? And his answer was, yes, we have done studies to make sure that this is feasible and it would not impact businesses. But when you and I spoke, there was 0 studies conducted. So I'd like to know which it is, because that's a huge thing to me, because either we spent money on plans or beautiful concept art with no studies done, or there's been studies done and it's unclear if there have been studies done. That's my first thing I'd like to address in terms of that, is the study, because I feel like had there been a study done, with consideration to the business, it'd be clear what can and can't happen, or what isn't feasible. Number 1. Number 2, touching on what he said, the communication, and I know you guys say we're at stage 1, 0% concept. But if we've had 5 years of kind of thought, and he makes a great point, you have to have, a plan to apply for that money. At what point in those 1,825 days did you guys decide it wasn't pertinent to speak with us? When were we going to be looped in? Because I'll be honest, and you seem like a really, really nice guy, and everyone seems to be very professional and very kind. This all feels like damage control. This all feels like, oh, let's put water on the fire, let's calm everybody down. And I don't feel like any of this would have happened. Because you just said it yourself, this didn't happen with Northgate. This didn't happen with the roundabouts. What's different now? We're here now. We're frustrated now. We want to be heard now. I feel like there should be a member of the community, a business owner, who's kind of nominated to kind of walk with you guys and is included on some of your inner circle stuff. Because it kind of feels to me like there's a lot happening that we're not aware of. And that's where we get concerned, and that's where our mind starts to wander. I don't know how you're going to achieve that in 80 feet all the way down. I don't see how that's possible. If you look at your concept art, I don't see how that's possible. So that lets us wonder, if you do need additional land, how are you going to get it if we haven't been looped in? And that's a huge driving factor. Additionally, you have folks who depend on street parking, who depend on having an undivided, no median area. Both of these plans say no median or raised median. If that's a center median, that's a problem in either design. I strongly encourage, before you guys come up with what you're going to do, you get out of the car, you walk with us, we can show you where our concerns are, we pull out a tape measure, we do things the old-fashioned way. Social media is great, designs are great. I'd like for all of us to walk it together and kind of figure out what's going on. Those are my concerns. We've been here for 20 years, so I hope we're here for another 20.
We do too.
With this plan, we can all agree this is something we want to see done, something nice done for that area, but it has to be done reasonably, and we can provide valuable input on how to achieve that. It took so long with the light. That was a massive, massive negative impact to our businesses. What's construction going to look like? Then you have closures for sealing the roads, chipping out the old roads. You have utilities, you have drainage, you have all sorts of things. What is your plan of attack? You had no plan of attack for the light. That's why it was out for 8 months. So we just kind of want to see better preparation and better communication. And I think that would make all of us happy.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys, I raised
You raised a good daughter.
Next question, please. Wow, don't make me ask. I've got 2. And then I have Mr. Ayers right after you, sir.
Yeah, my name is Jeff Rowe, and I'm representing Rowe Oil Company. The bulk plant our business there has been there since the 30s. We're in the fuel business. My dad came here in 1964, so we've been there since 64. We also have a card lock over on 3rd Street. And talking about trees and everything, they planted trees over there, which is now blocking all our it's blocking our signage and everything over there. So when I think about that and I think about what could happen here, we have a 24-hour card lock where people come in and out. We have big truck and trailer transports come out, in and out. We're in the fuel business. We have bobtails and transports that coming out all hours of the night and day. So a median would definitely not work for us.
Okay.
It takes there's 80 foot out there now. We have to come into the center. We're big rigs coming in and out. I am in favor of modernization if it's done right. Curbs and gutters, I think somebody mentioned that. Things that we could beautify. Very limited parking out there. That could be a help. So I echo what the young lady said over there. She's pretty well informed. I think I was going to ask, the first I really knew about this was the talk of bringing our section in there out into the city. I think that's been on the plan for a long time, or did that coincide with this money becoming available? Was that something that was required?
Well, because we have the corridor, you are a part of the city being in the mixed corridor section. And when that happened,
But
that
at one time
annexation,
we weren't the
you
city.
were the
Yeah.
county. You were the
Yeah,
county.
right.
And then it came into the city. I'm not sure exactly the year that happened.
It's been
but-
fairly recently.
Okay.
So, but I understand.
Yes.
It didn't surprise me. I understand scoring up the boundaries and everything. I'm in favor of, moving forward on things like that. So, I definitely would, the young lady mentioned about somebody coming out. I'm definitely open to somebody coming out, talking about the issues where they can actually see it. And,
I know
being involved.
when I spoke to your sons at that time where I
Yeah.
parked my car, I had to move the car because the diesel truck was coming in. So
Yeah.
it was very obvious, and that
Yeah.
right there gave me the idea. I'm going to put a box on the back of your information sheet so you could kind of pencil out
Yeah, and I did
the
a
needs.
rudimentary drawing there. The bulk
And
plant's
that's
been there
okay.
since the 30s. The loading rack used to be out front. It was an old wooden loading rack. That's been since located in the inside of the property. The tanks there's 4 tanks there that were built in the 30s. They're still very solid tanks. We'd like it to be there for the next generation. We've been trying to take care of what we have to keep it up. I haven't been able to put a ton of money into it because we knew this was coming. California already doesn't want fossil fuels.
Sure.
So we understand that. We're kind of fighting that battle. I don't feel like that in the discussion here, but I recently had to replace some equipment. It was very expensive to replace it to keep my card lock open and our bulk facilities there. And I really thought about it, and I thought, well, I don't have any choice. I have to keep this going because sometimes our site on 3rd Street goes down. We have to have an alternative site. We have people that come in there, and that's where our office is. So I don't have any other comments right now other than just thank you for the opportunity
All right. Thank you.
to speak.
I'm glad that you came this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. David Ayers?
Dave Ayers and Jeff, we got another class for union coming up here, buddy. Another great, the best class of 71, right here.
Mr. Harris, really quickly, what land do you own or business do you have on East Lacey?
I don't own anything.
Okay,
But
I just want to give priority to the businesses, as I stated up front.
Yes.
If there is any,
But I do have some comments, and I think, want to come back to me? Come back to me, yeah.
yes,
I'll come back.
I'm sorry, Dave. I just immediately, I just do what you tell me. I mean, yeah. I think it was the class of 17.
I was born in '71.
Mr. Oliveira.
Stephen Oliveira, Hanford Auto Sales. We opened up April 1st, 1993. We've been on East Lacey not as long as Mr. Rowe there, but I pretty much grew up there. I spend more time on East Lacey than I do at home. So I want it to succeed. I want it to look nice. And as long as we follow what you guys have going here, I think that is possible. If we get the input of the business owners and property owners, But I think it's also important, like Leonard mentioned, we speak with staff or engineers, whoever's going to design this up, actually speak with us, not necessarily, you taking the information to them so they can see what we're dealing with. We want it to succeed. Listen, we own the property. I want it to succeed, but it's got to work with what we do with it. And that's not just me, that's every business owner or property owner up and down the street. By the way, that one picture you had of the feather flag looked great. Was nice and clean.
That was last year.
But I do believe if you guys follow what you have here, I can see its success, but we have to follow it and we have to meet with the engineers or whoever draws that up. I know it's important to meet with you guys because you ultimately vote on it, but if we work with those people who draft it, I think it'll even be a better success.
And that's what we're going to be doing in October. I had confirmation from Mr. Tavares to make sure that city staff will meet with every single business.
Thank you.
Business owner, but also hopefully the business owner at that time, if they don't own the business or the land on the business, have the landowner a part of that conversation as well. So they have stake in that property right there. And so, having that say is important. But yeah, staying engaged, stay connected, make sure you're reaching out to all 5 of us. October is where city staff and the engineers will be at those 2 open houses. And so that's where.
And I think she had a great idea of one property owner or business owner, maybe represent the area so they can also go to different businesses. Hey, this is what they're thinking. What do you think?
Well, and that's one reason why I had your phone number and your emails put on that sheet, so I can create a distribution list and send out information, give it to Chris and have him be able to have all your contact information, and the city staff will have that information to get out anything that we're having, like updates. Hey, we're going to be talking about this on the city council meeting. Hey, just a reminder, in October, we are going to have, this is where the meeting's at, what time, everything, and to have that open line of communication.
And one last thing on a positive note, I want to thank every council woman and man coming, and our intern city manager. I mean, it shows that you guys are taking it serious and listening. I think that's a good step, a good showing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. We got a question here.
Yes, I'm George Casas from Shogun Auto Center. There's just something that keeps me a little bit uncomfortable. Are we doing this just because we got to jump on the money? We're giving this money, so we got to jump and do something about it so we don't lose the opportunity? Or are we going to be doing this because it's actually beneficial to the city? I want to know not only on the studies on how it affects all of us as business owners, but also the city itself. I want to know how fiscally responsible is this going to be? We're giving 7.3 million, so we should go and spend 18. What's going to happen if that's not thought through? Right, we're going to lose business, and then probably our property tax is going to go up because now the place is prettier, and then we have less business, more property tax, and then the city gets into debt that they can't pay just because we got to jump on using this money because it has an expiration date.
Okay.
Maybe we should look into not doing a crazy project, but maybe something more reasonable. Maybe we should spend the 7.3 million and that's about it. Just to make sure that not only the businesses, which we're going to suffer from this for construction time and everything else, but also making sure the city doesn't bite on more than what it can chew, because then who's going to pay for that later? We all are going to pay for that later too.
I think you have a great question, and I'm going to defer to our city manager, who was the finance director before interim city manager, to talk about some of those monetary specifics that you were talking about.
Thank you.
And Chris, please introduce yourself. If you guys don't know, this is our intern city manager, Chris Tavares. Okay, I'll introduce you for you, man.
Thank you, Adam. So to address the question here, all of this funding is established now. So the city won't be borrowing any funding for this project. Now, there's a couple of federal monies in here, the CMAQ and the federal earmark. those are specifically for this project, so they can't be used anywhere else. As growth in the city continues, though, this corridor has been identified. This roadway has been identified as needed. You go out there, the level of service is starting to fail over time. The condition of the roadway is bad. So just by the city getting this outside money to partner in with local funds, I believe is quite an accomplishment for the city. So in my mind, it is fiscally responsible to do it. It's actually partnering the money, making our money go further. And the goal of the project is to improve, to enhance the corridor for businesses, for properties, for the community. We absolutely want a fantastic project out here. So appreciate Travis coming out here and council representing themselves here too. But absolutely hear your concern, and we take that seriously. And I think we're on the right track on it, honestly.
Also, before, when Chris was hired as the finance director, before our budgeting gets rated every year, and when he took over, we were at a level D, a grade of a D. Last year, he improved that D rating in how we are being fiscally responsible. It's at a B, and this year we're going for an A rating. So he's worked really hard in the finance department to get, and you're very familiar with the ratings, but just to get for where we were to now, a couple years later, to where we are now, it's very commendable. So I appreciate his CPA experience. He's a licensed CPA, but also he's been the person to get our budget back on track. So thank you, Chris. Yes, sir.
Just a second. Okay. I talk pretty loud. Oh, I know it. I heard you talk before, but
they need to be. It needs to be on the film.
Reminds me of karaoke. Oh, okay. I just have a couple things. One positive comment, that contact email being positive. For me, email and phone call, because I was forbidden to be on social media because I say what's on my mind. So I am not on social media. So unless it's on email or phone call, I will not know. Or you mail something to me. A couple of things I want to talk to. So one thing I noticed is all of this is subject to the state rules or regulations or requirements. So we do all this, come to this great, oh man, this is beautiful, you like it, we like it, and they say, no, we want 3 bike lanes and a unicycle lane. And that's what's gonna go in there, okay? So we need to know what their requirements are before we can put, otherwise we're just burning gas. We need to know what our guidelines, ultimately, they're the boss. Mm-hmm. They are the ones who are gonna say yes or no, and they're gonna get the red pen out. So that's what I'd like to see. Let's see. I'm getting there too. One thing that's important to me, I'm a business owner too. Yeah, if it's gonna lose my business, would or hurt my business. I'm also a property owner. And you guys have probably seen me over the past 20 years out there on 7 days a week, grinding it out there and not paying people because I needed to create that equity for myself, for my daughter's inheritance and my granddaughter. My building is free and clear. I have paid it off and busted my butt. So I want to know, one of the most important things is net. What are you going to take from me by eminent domain? That's what I want to know, because I don't see 80 foot coming out of there like that. If I'm wrong, I stand corrected. I'll go out there with my little tape measure and measure. But I need to know, because I know in the last improvement on 10th, before I bought this building, took a lot of parcels from that property. And as I told you, re-engineered my sign, actually didn't engineer, didn't get a permit, and it sunk. And the city said I had to sue them to get them to fix it. So I paid for it myself, $18,000 after buying it. So I don't want that. I need to know hard numbers because, and I'm not making it all about money, but we're in business to make money. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be the bad guy. I'm here to make money. My daughter, my granddaughter are gonna get, I'm gonna die someday, probably 40 or 50, 60 years from now. Maybe 7. Elon Musk is working on it. I'm first in line. So I want honesty in that respect. And there's one other note here. God, I can't. Oh. How did you get those numbers? Are those specific with this project if you don't know what you're going to do? how much storm drain, how much, and then the money is already there, but that coming from existing budget, and it's in the tank right now, or you're gonna raise it by, and that's gonna be his question, and taxes are gonna go up, private tax. So I'm just curious, because when I do things as a business, I was a financial advisor for 30 years, and when I consulted on projects, I had to know what I was doing before I could put a price tag on it. So I don't see how you can say the storm drain is gonna cost $792,000 if you don't know what you're putting in.
It's a great question.
So I think that's just like, so just one more thing. So somebody put something in front of them a long time ago. So that's all I wanted to say, but I want to commend you. You guys are doing a great job. I appreciate it. But you got to deal with people like me, and unfortunately my daughter, let me tell you something, you don't want her coming after you, okay? Trust me.
I don't think we want to ever come after either of you.
I've had 31 years of her just chewing me up. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you, and if I could just address that real quick. Just a quick kind of background for folks. I've been doing this for about 20 years. City projects take a while, so you're right. Like this has gone back years. So there's the first stage, which is called preliminary engineering. So that's the phase that we are just wrapping up, basically. In conjunction with that is a right-of-way phase. So the engineers and the professionals start looking at design, like preliminary designs. So after that is the design phase. So that's what we're just entering into. So yes, there are other phases of the project. We're in the midst of wrapping up preliminary engineering, which helps in design, and then right-of-way. So we're looking at those. And to reiterate what Travis said earlier, the city is absolutely going into this project looking at existing right-of-way. That is our goal, to work within what we have. So in your response to eminent domain, that's like, we're not even looking at that. So, but that is like, we want to not look at that and see what we can do within. So with a preliminary engineering, that's how we were able to identify what funding could go there. And each fund is very particular to what it can do. So storm drain must go to storm drain, wastewater must go to the refuse or wastewater pipes. Transportation impact fees, gas tax, TDA, and CMAQ, and the federal earmark, those are all transportation related. So kind of above the ground stuff. The water capital, again, water lines. So a lot of it's above ground or at ground that you can see. Then you got a lot of below ground stuff that if you're going in there, we got to take a look at what can we improve. And that's our goal with this project, because we don't want to go back up and then tear up a brand new roadway and make sure that businesses are taken care of and new neighbors coming in will be taken care of. So that's how it was identified, and great question.
Yeah, and Mr. Tavares, I want to just touch on that for just 1 minute. I mean, you said we don't want to go back in and tear up the roadways that we make, because we see that as a pattern in Hanford. They put in a beautiful road, they just repave it, and within 6 months to a year, they're digging up sections of it to do something they didn't do underneath. And now then it's no longer a brand new beautiful road. So how do we avoid that in a project like this that says, you know, if we go in and do that, all that underground and everything, we shouldn't have to touch that road for the next 10 to 15 years. True?
True.
Okay,
true.
so if they dig up that road before 15 years, I'm going to come looking for you.
I'm going to be mad too.
Okay, all right, good.
And I know that we had that conversation in the study session where I was asking Mr. Zenteno, our director of engineering, can we stub it out to like the sidewalks? It's easier to do something at the sidewalk where it's cement and we can get it done. Because that's a pet peeve of mine. I hate when they you have this beautiful road and then they carve out a lane to put another pipe that they forgot or whatever the reason was. That's a pet peeve of mine, and I voiced that at the study session.
Thank you.
Just to touch on answers that Mr. Tavares gave, and great job, by the way. Great job on those answers. But a couple of questions kind of come to mind. You know, again, he mentioned that experts have been consulted, but I thought we haven't done studies yet. And we're at 0% design, but there's been preliminary design. And that's my whole point, that this should have happened at that point. at stage 0, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, at the preliminary design. If we've done preliminary design to get these numbers, what was that preliminary design? Was it the complete streets, or was it the arterial design? What was that preliminary design to get those numbers is kind of my question, to kind of touch off of what he said.
So can you, when you say preliminary designs,
Great question again. If I ever go into martial arts, I'm going over to you. My brother's always trying to get me into it. I'm the wussy one, though. Only if you do a good job. Okay. Preliminary engineering, great question. So a lot of times it's about the engineers and those professionals going in and doing measurements on what can potentially be there. So they're not actually developing like a design, like to build it. It's all preliminary stuff. It's
contradicted himself a couple of times. If we've already done that and had the engineers look at that, why is it being communicated the opposite to us, is my question.
I'm not sure what Brian said. I can't vouch for that. I'm just telling you where I know we're at now.
Gotcha.
California does have an environmental regulation called CEQA, so that is just wrapping up. But now that this money is federalized, there's a NEPA process, another environmental document that has to be done. So there's just another layer of red tape that we have to go through. So the city's not immune from state and federal requirements, so we're having to go through that as well.
So you guys have said a bunch of times we're at stage 1 and 0% design. And this is directed at both of you or whoever. At what point were we going to be looped in? Because that's something you guys have danced around a few times.
Now,
Well, yeah,
the
now, 'cause
engineers,
we've already
the
been
engineers,
upset,
like
you know,
once design.
what was the plan?
I've been told by engineering staff that was about as early as we could go out and get it out to the public. Next steps are to actually go out to each and every one of you that own or operate there and to visit you. So that's a typical thing that's done, but that's done in design. That's when they're looking at where your drive approaches are going to be, need to be, what are your concerns, what deliveries do you need to have occurring, how do your customers come in, that type of thing. So that's done during design typically.
Okay, I got a question back here. And again, if you guys, right about when the question's rounding out, if you've got, I've got Mr. Leonard, I'll get him next, but just raise your hand and I'll slot you in. Introduce yourself.
My name is Thomas Benedict. I represent Pacific Towing and Transport and Benedict Automotive. You guys go back to design. I assume Costco, there was a lot of design and a lot of engineering that went into that. However, coming south on Lacey, when those guys try to make that U-turn coming out of the Panda Express, it's not possible. I know everybody's been stopped behind a car who's got to do a three-point turn to make that. So if you've put that much engineering into a multi-billion-dollar company, I mean, what's going to happen to us that our pocketbooks aren't nearly as deep?
I believe we have a better engineering design team this time around because my engineer actually said, that's a bad design. We're going to do way better.
All right, thank you.
You know, that's a great answer. That's a great question, though, because yeah, that is an issue there. I'm coming back to Leonard because I didn't see anybody's hands up. Sorry, Leonard. I mean, yeah. See, and I'm probably going to get phone calls. And you too, you have a business on the Lacey Quarter?
Yeah. I'm representing Alma's Flea Market, and I just want to know, I'm being very selfish, how likely am I going to be able to keep my 4 drives to get my people in and out?
That's
to my
something.
business?
That's something I would recommend you come to one of the October open houses, or when engineering staff goes out there, you address with them. Typically, what happens in a project is the city doesn't take away what you already have unless
Okay.
they'll figure out something. They'll work with you to
Well, I
figure
know
out
when you're
something.
talking about sidewalks and what have you. It really bothers me because I don't know what I'm going to do. And I know that's in the future, but still, I just need my 4 driveways.
Absolutely.
I'm very selfish.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
And
Okay.
engineering staff is very cognizant of that. So in part of the design, they are going to make sure you're going to get taken care of. Have some options.
Okay, and please introduce yourself.
My name is Mauro from Shogun Auto Center, and I wanted to ask, so what's the communication with the engineers going to be like? For example, let's say I don't agree with having a median, or we need the street parking for customers. We rely on people driving by. How long is the project going to take? Are the streets going to be closed for months? Are we going to get any compensation for the months of the construction? And yeah, that's it. And mainly the communication with the engineers. Are they going to take our input on the project and listen to us and, take our input?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect.
Starting in October, there'll be the 2 open houses, open to the business owners and residents of the corridor, also the public as well, are welcome to come and talk with the engineer team directly. And the purpose of that is to hear all the concerns. And then they're going to take that and then go back to council. Okay, this is everything we've heard in conjunction with everything we're hearing today. And go back to council at a public meeting and address those concerns and give a recommendation to council. This is how we can proceed. And council's going to give okay, and give direction from there. And then the design team's going to get to work. Engineers take a while. I've been around them again for about 20 years, and they take a while. As the project develops, they will be going door to door for any impacted businesses, which would be anybody there. So they'll be in direct contact with you. So anything that involves your drive approaches, anything at your frontage, you're going to have a say in. You're going to be able to address those concerns directly with those staff. As construction goes, typically in projects, businesses maintain access for customers. That is maintained throughout the project typically. If needed, night work is done, weekend work is done to minimize as much as possible the impacts to businesses. Those are typically done with any projects. Our engineering team has been doing it a while. They're very cognizant of that. And that's important of us directing to them that the business impact is minimized as much as possible. We'll be looking, again, with Travis's form. We'll have your contact information. Feel free to reach out to me directly or Travis if you're not hearing anything. But we'll be posting as much as we can as we get it on our webpage, and then you'll be more than welcome to hear or listen. You can listen in from the comfort of your couch at council meetings as project updates occur. But I'm available, Travis is available, council members are available. So we'll be very much open to communication and try to give as much as we can to you.
And also I would like to add to what Mr. Tavares said or Chris, is that anytime that we have a city council meeting on a Tuesday, the agenda, the staff report, and all the information that we have to digest before Tuesday is that Thursday before. So we receive it on that Thursday. Council pulls it up. We're going through the 300, sometimes 700, sometimes 1,200 pages to make sure that we ask our questions of staff before, what we're going to ask them then, how that's going to be doing, but it's open up to the public as well. So when that East Lacey corridor project comes up on the staff report, it will be the Thursday before, and so you would have 6 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days for you to, reach out, say, hey, I've read over this. I'm going to reach out to the council members. Here, this is my concern or this is my question. So please reach out to any of us 5. Give Chris a call. But I'm just giving you that you have 5 days ahead of so you could see and so you could start asking those questions ahead of time. I'm sorry, which page?
Oh, no.
Okay. So on October, there'll be the business, this is the first one, and then there's some dates, yes.
Oh, thank you for that information. All right, I'm going back here to Leonard because I've got nobody else on the Lacey corridor with their hand up. Quick question. What? That's your third question already. Leonard, I got you right after Leonard.
Really quick, I know the federal government just doesn't give you money and say, hang on to it for as long as you want. When is the deadline that we need to start using this money since we're at 0%
Sure.
design?
We have 12 to 18 months after the design has been approved by council for construction to begin.
Not from when he presented a year ago?
No, it's from when we have the RFP, the request for proposal. We have to hire the construction company, all of that stuff. We have to have it, don't want to speak out of line here, but it has to be signed, the contract has to be signed
By early 2027?
by early 2027.
Oh, so we have till 2027 for you guys to
January,
come up with a
December
design plan.
2026, January 2027 for that whole process and the design. It's a mile and a half that we're working on.
I understand.
Yeah,
Just
and so-
I know government doesn't just give you money and say, hang on to it.
No,
Take as long as
they
you
have
want.
they have that hard cut date.
And that's what I'm
Yes.
saying, if we're at 0% design, if we don't come together and something happens, then what do we do?
We are going to come together. And that's why we're listening to you, and we want to do how to enhance your business instead of take away.
Hey, I've got the microphone, so I'm going to tap in. I know that Mayor Paden and our city manager are doing a great job in answering questions. It's difficult, but I want to address your question over there. I want you to know that there will be huge inconveniences. Huge. It's normal on any project. Don't think, I know they made it sound so good. You're not going to, don't worry about it. Listen, they're going to rip that road out and they're going to put a new one. Yes, there are going to be customers that can't get to your business at times. But believe me, that's part of the process. It's happened to me in almost every business that I've owned. But we get through it. You push through it. Your customers will come back when that road's done, and they'll be happy it is done. But there will be major inconveniences. So,
Months or years?
oh no, weeks, and they won't shut your business down for a month. They may shut it down for a day because they're digging a hole in front of it. But they really do work well with you, and they really do have your interest. They want you to succeed because you're paying taxes to them. Yeah. All right.
Just like COVID, just a few months, huh?
Wait, every time I come here, you know what I think? Every time I come over, I said, man, I worked out once.
And also, Adam, just really quickly before the question happens, is that once a construction company is hired, they will have a property manager or a construction manager to go along with that. That will be saying, hey, we're going to be digging this trench or this hole on this date. We're going to let you know ahead of time so you can notify staff to make your arrangements and everything. And then this is when it will be done. So that project manager is going to be is affiliated with a construction company, will be in that constant communication with you. You're just not going to come to work one day and be surprised that the road is closed and all of that stuff. They're going to have that forward thinking and letting you know.
My question is real easy. See, like the nighttime construction, is that midnight to 8? Or is that like 4 to midnight when, oh geez, that's my only open hours? That's why I'm curious. You should maybe know that?
It's too early to know
Okay.
right now. What we would look at is, what typically the engineering team would look at is what's going to be the least inconvenience to the properties along that corridor, and
on that
and
information,
move that
see,
schedule
that's why I asked
accordingly.
for your business
Yeah.
hours
Yeah.
on that information. So the city staff and the city engineers, the project manager will know the hours of your operation and make those adjustments with their workload as
Okay,
well.
just curious.
Great question.
I mean,
Great
I'm
question.
up till 2 or 3 in the morning, so.
I have one last question, I promise. It's a beautiful slideshow. Who made the slideshow?
I did.
That's awesome. It's a great job, but I have a concern because the verbiage on the arterial design versus the complete streets design. Can we go back to those slides?
Are you talking this verbiage?
No, yes, that one. So these are very, to me, it comes across negative. 4 lanes may increase speeds, limited bike and pedestrian space, less emphasis, may contribute to future congestion, modest commercial appeal. These are all kind of opinions, right? I mean, we haven't done a study to look at the 4 lanes versus the other one, supposedly.
All I can tell you is that was cut and paste from the staff report. I wanted to be
Well, right,
as
but-
authentic, and that was presented to us on the study session August 5th. So I wanted to not summarize it the way I wanted. I wanted to be exactly how it was presented to us. So we're all on the same page of what we go from here.
And if we look at the next slide, the verbiage, whoever came up with it in the staff report, very
one?
positive, supports all modes, narrower lanes can calm traffic, safe, inviting, people-friendly, encourages economic activity. It's kind of clear to me where you guys are leaning. So my question is, as we stand right here today on September 8th, what do you want? What do you guys
Well,
want?
I will
What's your
tell you
opinion?
this
You have to
because
have one. We all do.
I went back and looked at the staff report, and I was like, they wanted us to make a decision. Staff wanted us to give direction and make a decision on what direction we wanted. But see, the city council did this, and we're like, kind of like a hard stop and saying, wait a minute, we have a lot of questions, and we want to involve the business owners. And so what I would like to see is, first of all, I'm 1 vote of 5. What I'd like to see is, that's why I went up and down Lacey Boulevard. I walked all the way from your business all the way to Costco or Panda Express on both sides, talking to each of the business owners. And for me, I told them I don't have a skin in the game. This is not my livelihood on East Lacey Boulevard. That's why I'm talking to you now. That's why I created this forum, to find out what you want on there so I can advocate for that, as opposed to saying, this is my idea, this is a wonderful idea, I come with great ideas, and this is how it's going to end. I hope you're going to like it. And that's not how I roll, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Thank you.
Come on October.
Yeah.
Open house. And you'll meet our staff, and as engineers, and I don't want Frank and Jacqueline are amazing engineers, and they're not the only 2 that are on there. But that's also, they're like, okay, let's give, they see what, that we have to support all modes of travel, cart bus, sidewalks, walkability. With street lights, everything that promotes walkability. How is that bike lane going to look? Are we going to block it off, or are we just going to have 2 stripes down the road, like it is on a lot of the streets that we don't see a lot of bikes going down that way, but that fulfills the bike lane requirement?
We gotta stay with questions on the mic. We can't interact like that. We're gonna move on. We're almost out of time. We're gonna move on to the next business owner.
We can
Thank
talk
you.
afterwards.
All right, and I do have a business owner next.
Okay, it is 8:13, so I want to respect your time, and we'll do a hard stop at 8:30, and then I will stay around, and if council wants to stay around to answer your questions, we will do that as well. Yes, sir.
Lizwart Teixeira, Dean Beck's Machine Shop owner and operator. I hate public speaking.
Nobody is here, just you and me.
I've got plenty of concerns like everybody else here. I got a question. You mentioned earlier about traffic going to and from Costco. Just want to know if that's more of an importance to you and to the city council than the rest of us. And where's the representative from Costco? Is anybody here for Costco? We were informed today, basically, recently. When was Costco informed about all this?
I did not inform Costco. I did not.
So Costco doesn't know that this is happening?
I don't know if they know or not. I'll be honest with you, I was focused on the businesses that this immediate project was going to discuss first. Excuse me? It's just till Sierra. It's not where Panda Express and everything. The street before that is Sierra Street, and that they already have their wonderful U-turn that Thomas was talking about over there. They're not going to be affected at all.
They're not getting affected, but this is basically to get traffic to them, is what I understood what you said earlier.
No, it's just to be a cohesive. They have sidewalks already by Costco. And they have streetlights already by Costco. We're having that continue on from Sierra all the way to 10th Avenue.
Okay. What assurances do we have that when you do the curb and gutter someday that it doesn't end up like Irwin Street where it floods into the businesses?
That's a great question, and I know that during the study session, they talked about improving having a new lift station. So when you have, and I'm not sure the functionality of a lift station, but that kind of lifts the water up to another level, and something like that to get it over the natural, slope of sorts. So we'll have a new lift station along with the storm drains and the water sewage, et cetera.
Okay. And also, just the last thing, I need access to heavy machinery entering my business and oversized loads, forklift access, semi-trucks. I have extremely limited parking as it is. So if the road is widened and my parking is taken away, basically my customers have no access to me at all.
Thank you for that, because when I spoke to a couple of Mr. Westmoreland back there, all I need is a tow truck to get into my location, and I'll be good. But some of you might. I have a 53-foot trailer that comes in with a bunch of cars. I need that. Or I have a diesel truck that's coming in. Please write that down on that form that I gave you, that information form, so we know, and so I can give those to the city staff and engineers as well. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're going to go for a couple of questions. I have a couple now. We will give the mic to people who do not have businesses on Lacey Boulevard.
And Dave Ayers is first.
I'll start with Mr. Ayers, of course.
You're going to let me talk?
I'll stand by him if I grab the mic.
Yeah, please do. Please,
Well, the reason I came here is I really wanted to listen to the business owners. And I know Travis kind of shut me down there, but it was important because for me, as a former council, this is something that we've really worked on for decades, was this arterial between, we call it Costco and downtown. And what we developed over the years is we have the Regional Commercial Zone 1, that you think of as Walmart and Target. And now we have Regional Commercial Zone 2, which is the Costco. And for us, it was trying to improve the circulation between our downtown and the Regional Commercial Zone. I like to think about it as Costco more as potential new businesses coming to Hanford. Now, there was one slide where you saw the general plan update where it rezoned the commercial. Well, part of this corridor is not just for your businesses, though it's very important to your businesses because we're looking at improving your businesses, but also the residential or rooftops that would hopefully evolve north of Lacey. Because what's going to be successful for the next regional commercial zone and your businesses is rooftops. And we've already made some pretty substantial investments to date for your businesses in this corridor. And one of them I haven't really heard of is the extension of the sewer line from the sewer plant all the way to 9th and Lacey, which is ready to go for future businesses, along with the regional commercial zone, which we have also spent millions of dollars. So the city to date has spent millions of dollars, and the current council, which makes me very happy to see them going down this path, continues to make some substantial investments in the city and this particular portion of the town. For you, Mr. Diaz. You know, it's all about traffic flow. You want people coming and going down that road. Hey, cars, what's that? Yeah, I know. So anyway, that's all my point. Again, I really wanted just to come and listen to you. Appreciate Mr. Paden and the rest of the council members for doing this. Thank you for letting me speak.
And to address the rooftops and to give you an update on the rooftops, a year and a half ago, possibly, I went to the ICSC conference, the International Shopping Centers Conference, and I was talking to a representative from Albertsons, and I was like, hey, we have this, this vacant lot that suits Albertsons. We have the Costco shopping center. And he's like, he didn't even look at the shopping center. He looked at the vacant land and he goes, you don't have enough rooftops. We need rooftops there, we need rooftops there and there before he goes, if I gave this to my CEO, he was like, next, and not even consider that. So an update on the rooftops, the Planning Commission and the city has already approved 7,000 homes to be built by 2029 and a little around that time. So over the next 4 to 5 years, there is 7,000 rooftops. Now, whether it depends on the economy and how they decide if they're going to move forward with that particular project or not, that's up to the actual developer. But 7,000 homes equates to an average of 3 people per home. That's another 20,000 people, 21,000 people on our population, going from 60,000 to 80,000. And once we get over that 75,000 threshold, then the larger businesses are going to start, okay, you have the rooftops, and then you're going to start seeing Costco fill up. You're going to start seeing North 12th and Fargo fill up. You're going to start seeing different areas that we see all these infill or these vacant lands start filling up as well. So that's where we're at when we are looking at, rooftops and everything, and as we're trying to responsibly and concentrically grow the city in a responsible way, that's what we're looking at right now.
All right, I got a little after 8:20. We're gonna finish off with Bob, unless Bob stirs this up so much or somebody else has a question. I'm sorry, Larry will finish it, but we're gonna start with Bob unless Bob stirs this up.
No comment, Bob.
Should I hang on to the mic while you speak, Bob?
I'm a very mild person.
Oh, my.
I have a question. I understand that this might be a two-phase project. 10th to the railroad track to Sierra. Am I correct there?
I have heard it could be a two-phase project,
all
yes.
right. Now, go back to the price tag of $8.2 million. Is that the price tag for the whole thing complete? The
Yes.
2 phases?
Yes.
Okay.
18.2, yes.
Okay, great.
I would like to be under that, I'll be honest with you. I'd like to be under,
Yeah, but I was thinking that's what it was, but I wanted to make sure.
Yes.
I do like what you're doing here to bring the community in and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
This should be done on any kind of project pertaining to the taxpayer citizens of the city. I like everything about here, but I have a problem with that traffic calming comment on there. And you're not really presenting the study session that was presented on the 5th, I think it was, August. That study session showed drawings of some stuff that maybe would not fit that particular area. So
these drawings that you see were pulled from that study session.
yeah, they can go
These
to
are
the
the-
study
they
sessions.
were the
I know
exact
you-
drawings,
I
yes.
know you went to that, but you didn't talk about it tonight. But I don't think that would behoove the people to have that kind of a concept there. I think what they need something that will enhance their properties, move traffic, and bring new business into the area.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Larry Furia. Bring it on home, Larry.
Bring it on.
Well, I want to say that I spent most of the 90s on East Lacey. I worked for Leonard, I worked with Steven, I worked with Rob. I'm very intimate with East Lacey. And I spent a lot of late nights down there working on race cars and destruction derby cars and whatnot. It is not going to be your next Civic Park, I'm telling you. You need to give these guys nice street, nice lights, nice sidewalks. But the trees, the biking lanes, I wouldn't let my kid go down there at night. I wouldn't let her go down there at dusk. I think it's an industrial area. It needs to stay an industrial area. They deserve the upgrade, but fiscal responsibility is not to fill it with trees and bike lanes and center divides. That's not fiscally responsible. Take that money where the public's going to go, somewhere else, downtown, or wherever it may be. But East Lacey is not going to be the new hangout. So give them what they need, but don't waste taxpayer money on it.
Thank you. Did you copy that down? Did you write that down? Okay, good. He wrote it down. All right.
Well, okay. I guess I can say thank you. I did not know that we were going to have the young Chris Tavares here to, fill in, but what a pleasure. How many of you guys have met our intern city manager?
No?
Guy's character, great guy. Good to get to know him.
He's catching up to us on the gray every a little bit.
No, he comes in the salon. I put that in. That's
okay.
Yeah. All right. Guys, we like to also close in prayer. I want to remind everybody.
Just one announcement. Please, if you're a business owner, before you leave, in the top left-hand corner, if you want a copy of what you just wrote down, please put the word copy, and I will scan that and send that to you. But please make sure I get it, or put it on this column right up here. But I would like to talk to you and just say thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure. Transparency is important with this council, and we are making sure that, moving forward, as we move forward, follow us on social media. I'm on Facebook most of the time, Mayor Travis Paden, City of Hanford. I know Kimber's on Facebook. I know Councilman Kairos is on Facebook. There's Facebook and Instagram. Vice Mayor's on Instagram. Do you do Facebook at all? You're Instagram. She's the young one. She's the Instagrammer. But please follow us so you can see what's coming up, what's going on. And thank you once again for coming out this evening. And I'll stay around as long as you have questions. But thank you, Adam, and the Sons of Liberty for allowing us to be here.
Thank you. Beautiful. Good questions. I thank you, the public. I want to remind everybody, we meet here every Monday at 7 o'clock. The Sons of Liberty get together and we discuss the issues of the day. And you are welcome. Come out, get to know us. If there's a project, if there's something going on in our community, I guarantee you we're going to know about it and we're going to be involved in it. So you're all welcome to be here. Monday night, 7 o'clock. If you all would please stand, we'll close in a prayer. Father God, I thank you for the discussion we've had tonight. I thank you that it was good, it was positive, and I believe, Father, we are on the right direction. I thank you continue to lead us and guide us into your truths, that each one of us, Father, would stand behind what we've said and accomplish to the best of our ability all that we can do. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you. Go in peace. Go careful, and I'll see you out here Monday night.